Parents of teenagers, what is something you thought would be a phase that just wasn't? My son has always been a bit of a joker. When he was 13, he started doing this thing where he would pretend to be asleep whenever I walked into his room. I'd open the door and there he'd be, lying on his bed, eyes closed, breathing deeply. At first I thought it was cute. I'd chuckle, close the door and let him have his fun. But then it started happening all the time. I'd go in to tell him dinner was ready and he'd be asleep. I'd need to ask him a question about his homework and he'd be asleep. It got to the point where I was genuinely concerned. Was he getting enough rest? Was he sick? I took him to the doctor and everything checked out fine. One day, I decided to test him. I walked into his room and sure enough, he was asleep. I quietly left, then waited a few minutes before bursting back in, yelling, "Fire!" He shot up, eyes wide, and I knew I had him. Turns out, he wasn't actually pretending to be asleep. He was just really good at falling asleep quickly. He'd hear me coming, think, "Oh, I'll just close my eyes for a second," and boom, out like a light. He's 17 now and still does it. We've had many laughs about it over the years.